Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about the newest palette from Nomad Cosmetics, and I am really excited about this. I've had this in my hands now for about a week and I've done 3 looks with it, so I'm going to show you 4 looks in today's video. This is the Chicago Speakeasy palette. I think this color story is so fun, and I feel like Nomad has been killing it with their color stories lately. They've been like, I don't know exactly what I feel like I'm looking for in palettes. They've all had really good matte selections and their shimmers have been really good, and I'm really excited about this. I love the packaging as well. I know some people aren't super into like the velvety suede kind of packaging, but I really like it, and I think it just adds personality to the palette and it makes it more special. And I still like that they've kept it very nice and sleek, except for just the front of the palette and a little bit on the sides here, but it's really, really nice packaging as always with Nomad, and I'm excited to show you the looks I've done with this. I will say this is definitely more for like a neutral lover. I would say there are obviously some pops of colors in here, but it's going to lean quite neutral, and I think that even the multichromes in the middle, they're not so like colorful and intense that is going to scare you off if you're someone who likes more neutral looks, because they definitely lean more on like the subtly side, if that makes sense. But I think they're all beautiful, so I'm really excited to be doing another look with this palette. I haven't quite decided what I want to do today, but I've used most of these colors. I think this first row here is probably my least favorite, just because that kind of coloring just doesn't look that good on me. The rest of these are really, really nice. I don't remember if I think I've used all of the shimmers already, so I'm just gonna kind of play with some of the colors that I want to today, I think. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start by priming my eyes. This palette is launching on the 8th at, I want to say 12:01 a.m. EST, so I will have the information linked down below in my description box, because it's obviously going to span over a couple of time zones and days because of that. So I will make it a little bit easier for you to know when it's actually launching if you just go read my description box the information. I will link the website. I will have my affiliated code listed as well if you're interested in picking anything up from Nomad. But I've just been really impressed with them as a brand lately. I feel like Nomad didn't used to be one of my favorite brands, but I feel like their formula has changed a little bit in the past couple of years, and I think that the way it is now is more what I'm looking for in my eyeshadows, and I've been just really enjoying their latest releases. So I'm excited to have this one in my hands, and I'm excited to do another look with this and show you what this palette is about. So I'm thinking, for the sake of using some of the shades that I haven't used as much, I do want to use the black today because I haven't dipped into that as far as I remember. I do still want to use some of these neutrals, and probably like this purple and this one on the lid could be kind of fun. Do like a very intense like warm toned crease with the purple on the lid and this in the inner corner. I feel like I've used this shade every look so far, but I love a good iridescent shade, you guys know that, and if there's only one in a palette, it's going to be my inner corner shade every time because I don't have any other options. So I think that's what I'm going to do, just because it is going to be a little bit different than some of the other looks that I've done, and I just really like a neutral crease lately. You guys know that, and if you get sick of it, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do a very basic neutral crease, but it's going to be very dramatic and intense still, and I feel like the other looks that I've done maybe hasn't been as dramatic as I want this to be. I feel like last time I used this shade as well, I kind of sheared it out a little bit more, and I didn't pull it up as high as I intend to today, because I do want this to be a dramatic look. Even though for me it's a Friday at like 9 a.m. and I don't plan on going anywhere today, but who knows, maybe I do want to go somewhere later, and then I'll have a bomb-ass makeup look to take with me. So that's exciting. This shade is such a beautiful shade of brown, and I know like 2 years ago I never would have said that because I'd be like, ugh. But I'm really coming around to these like warm tone brown shades. I think they're so pretty, and I just feel like they complement my skin tone very nicely as well. And I love that you can pair a crease like this with basically any shimmer ever, and it's going to make sense and just look so good. And it's such a good way to show off unique and special shimmers as well, because like the crease doesn't take away from the beauty of the shimmer and sparkle in whatever it is that you end up using. Like, it's not fighting for the attention like it maybe would if I had done like a, you know, a blue crease or something like that. Don't get me wrong, I love that still, but I've definitely been into this a lot more lately. I'm gonna take this shade underneath my eye as well, Just connect it in the outer corner, and then we're gonna deepen it up with the black after. I am gonna make this shape a little more maybe dramatic than I have some of the other looks that I've done so far. Next up, I'm going in with the black shade like I was saying. This one is called Capone. I wouldn't say it's a like super black, it's more like a muted black. Does that make sense? Like I don't feel like it's like, maybe it is on the eyes. In the pan, it looks more like a very, very, very deep, dark gray shade, but it's looking very dark on the eyes, so maybe it is just a pure black. Yeah, that is really, really nice and dark. It's building so nicely. I am really enjoying this. It's been a while since I've used a black eyeshadow. I feel like I used to all the time. I remember whenever a palette would have a black in it, it would be like the first shade that I wanted to try, and lately I just have not been dipping into the blacks as much, and I've been enjoying more of a like a lighter crease while still having some depth in the outer corner, but I definitely haven't been as craving of that like super intense depth as I maybe used to before, but I'm really enjoying how these are looking so good together. Oh, I really like that. I am going to take some of this underneath my eye as well. Not too much of it, just like closest to my lash line on a very small brush here. I'm just gonna do a little bit of that on the outer corner and just try to get a bit of a blend in the outer corner as well. I've definitely been going a lot lighter on my lower lash line, I feel like, as well lately, and some of the time I don't even do any shadow on my lower lash line, and I think that ever since I started using lashes, it's almost like I can get away with that and still have a look like it's complete, whereas before when I didn't use lashes, I felt like I needed to have color under my eye for it to look cohesive. Well, I really like that. I think this is going to turn out so good. I'm just blending these two colors a little bit more together with a clean, small blending brush so that the black line isn't as prominent. But I don't really care if they're not like super blended. I think it'll look good still. Next up, as I'm sure you all know by now, it is glitter primer time. I'm gonna put on some of this before I do the shimmers. I've definitely felt like these shimmers look better with a glitter primer, because when I've used them on my eyes so far, they've looked great, but when I swatched them, I felt like they were a little bit lackluster compared to on the eyes because I didn't have that sticky base. So this is definitely going to help them really pop. And like I was saying, I think I want to use the purple shade and this shade. So I'm going to start with this, and this is going to go good with my shirt as well because I'm wearing purple. So I'm going to do this mostly all over like the middle of my lid, maybe even a little bit in my inner corner as well, also over that black shade. So this is going to be the main shimmer that I'm using. Have I used this yet? I think I only used a little bit of this. It's nice to be able to put this all over my lid because now I really see how beautiful this shade. Oh, that's so pretty. It has so many, it's almost like a holographic shade. It's got so many different colors of sparkles in it, and it almost has a bit of like that gray base that holographic shades have. I don't know if this is a holographic shade, to be honest. It could be, it really could be. I'm not sure, but I love it. I think it looks so good. And just to finish off, I'm taking the shade called Gin Ricky, which is the iridescent shade. I'm just gonna pop that in my inner corner, and I think that's pretty much gonna be it. I just love these kind of looks. They make me feel so pretty, and I feel like they're very appropriate. Maybe not like day appropriate for some people, but for me, I feel like this is a very day appropriate look that still looks, you know, really fun and interesting, but isn't maybe as intimidating and crazy as like a full colorful look. Just wrapping it underneath my eye a bit as well. Not too much, just enough so you can see it goes under my eye. And I think I'm also gonna take some of this on my brow bone. It's such a beautiful shade for that. I love these kind of shades, and I wish that every palette would have something similar, because you can just use them for so many things. It would honestly probably make for a really good face highlighter as well. I do have a highlighter on my face right now, though it is more of a subtle one, so Maybe I'll try a little bit of this on my face just so we can kind of see. I want to find a very fluffy brush, but small and precise at the same time. Where is the one that I'm looking for from Rephr? Can't find the one that I want, but I'm gonna take my Cinch Beauty brush. This is the FO7, I think this says. And I'm gonna use some of this on my face. Oh, that definitely works well. Yeah, I really like that. I'm not sure how well you can actually see that, but it's not so strong of a multi-chrome that like the shift on it on the face is too obvious, and I like that. Maybe in different lighting you'd be able to see the green a little bit more, but this is really, really pretty. Yeah, I'm happy I tried that, and if you're someone who likes these kind of shades on your face, I think you're really gonna like this. That's so I really like this look. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly finish off, and then I'll come back and show you the other 3 looks that I've done as well. So the look is done. I don't know what happened with this lash. Do you ever put on a lash and you look at it and you're like, it looks the same on both eyes, but then on this eye, like it's just like, it looks wonky when I look at it straight ahead, but from the top, like it looks fine. It almost looks like it's just not curved enough. Like I don't know what happened. They just don't look the same. But ignore that. I love the look though. I think it is so pretty. Love this color cut. I love this purple shimmer so much. And I feel like I didn't give it enough of a chance in the other look that I did because I used it more in the outer corner as sort of a blending shade with the other shimmer I had on my lid. But the way that these colors look together, just beautiful. So let me go ahead and show you the other looks that I've done as well. For the most part, I would say I kept the looks pretty simple, and I did play with a lot of the neutrals because I feel like I wanted the palette to come across the way that I felt like the color story spoke to me. So by that I mean, I feel like for me, this is more of a neutral palette with some pops of color, and so I feel like that's why I did the looks that I did, because I wanted to show off how, to me, this color story is represented. And I think there's a lot you can do with this, really. I think it's a very versatile palette. It can be good for day, it can be good for a night, for whatever you want it, like occasion-wise. I think that you'll be able to find a way to use this palette. And I really like the multi-chromes in here. They are more on the subtle side. And they are sort of, would I say they're black based? They're more dark based at least, which is usually not my favorites, but I don't feel like these are true black based multi-chromes. So for that reason, I like them more than I like other darker multi-chromes. And I haven't had much problems with creasing. They have definitely creased on me a little bit, but all kind of multi-chromes that are this dark will crease on me. That is just how multi-chromes work on my eyes. So I can't really complain about that because that is just like something that happens to me with multi-chromes. I still think that they have worn better than most multi-chromes in my collection, and for that I'm very happy. And I think, like I said before, the color story is really nice. There's so much you can do with this. I love the neutrals in here. I think that that's the corner of this palette that I'm going to be reaching for the most. It's like the 6 neutrals on the far right side, because they just really work well for my skin tone. They complement my skin tone very nicely, and I can pair these with so many different things. And the black is really nice as well, which I show today, and I'm very happy to have this black in my collection. And I can see myself using this palette again many times. And I feel like often when I review stuff, I look at a palette and I'm like, maybe I'll use this again, maybe I won't. I'm not really sure yet, like time will tell. But I feel like with this, I can easily just put this on my vanity, and for days where I'm not filming, I can definitely see myself reaching for that, especially the mattes in that palette, because I think they're so easy to work with, super quick. And if I wanted to, I could pair those mattes with like some of my Cleona shimmers or something like that that are a little bit lighter, which is what I prefer. But I've had a really good time with this palette, and if you like this color story, there is no doubt in my mind that you're going to like this formula, because it is really, really nice. And I think that Nomad really nailed it with this palette as well. The packaging is also just so pretty. I really like the colors that they chose for the outside as well. And yeah, I'm excited to have this palette in my collection. So thank you, Nomad, for sending me this as always. Thank you to you guys for watching. If you want to see some more Nomad content, I definitely have a pretty long playlist if you want to see some more. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!